Welcome, my dears. Welcome to the Mad Tea Party. I'm your host, the Mad Hatter. Today we're going to be drinking various kinds of tea and just kind of describing what they're like. The first one that we're going to try today is called Who Stole the Tarts. It's actually one of my personal favorites. It was a tea that I found about a few months ago, and I just kept modifying it on the website until it tastes perfect.
Who Stole the Tarts? This is a black tea with honeybush tea and natural flavors of hazelnut, chocolate, and vanilla, along with cocoa nibs and freeze-dried raspberry.
And actually, I don't usually use any sugar or honey in my tea. I'm kind of a purist about that, mostly because the March Hare keeps putting it into my watch. So I try to hide it on them. This one in particular is a black tea. It has chocolate and raspberry in it. I want it to taste kind of like a warm brownie coming out the oven. I love that one. It's more of a dessert tea or early in the morning tea because it does have a little bit of caffeine, or has a bit of a caffeine to it. And it does have a really chocolate taste to it while maintaining the black tea, but the vanilla kind of counteracts the black tea taste. So if you're not a black tea fan, you may actually enjoy this.
Raspberry Green. This is a green tea with natural raspberry flavor, raspberry leaves, raspberries, and rose petals.
The next tea, because I wanted to have one of each kind of tea, so a black tea, a green tea, and a white tea, is actually from the same company. It's a green tea with raspberry in it, Adagio, which I'll have a link down below. This one is a green tea with raspberry. Already comes pre-made. I haven't modified it, haven't added any sugar or honey, but of course you can if you like. It kind of takes some of the edge off the raspberry that's in the tea itself. And this one is really, really good. Because sometimes green tea people will say that's a little too bitter. That might be because they're steeping it for more than 3 minutes at a time. Sometimes it's just the greenness of the tea that kind of throws them off, but the raspberry in this really kind of accents the green and brings the raspberry out and kind of softens the taste, the aftertaste of the green tea, which really makes this a wonderful evening cup. When you don't need all the caffeine of a black tea, but you just need a little more caffeine to make it the rest of the night before bedtime.
White Tea Rose Mint. This is a white tea blended with rose petals, lavender, and just a hint of mint. The notes are mint, rose, lavender, Turkish delight, and it is very fragrant.
And lastly, we have a white tea rose mint, which a lot of you would know that in the garden, which Alice visited, there was a white rose, at least in the 1951 film, but not quite in the book. The book was just a simple rose. So this one is more of a flowery tea. They're not painting the tea red, instead they're leaving the flowers white. This would be a really good tea before nighttime. It's a very calming tea. The ingredients in there will actually help you sleep at night. There's a tiny bit of caffeine in there, but not near as much as the green and black normally have. And this is really good for bedtime. It really almost cleans the palate. The taste of it is very flowery. Really doesn't need any honey or sugar in there. The sweetness of the flowers almost adds to it and almost tastes like they have sugar and honey in there, but they really don't. So like I said, this would be really good for late at night when you just want a cuppa, but you don't want to stay up all night drinking it.
The method we use to brew our pot of tea is a teaspoon for every person who will be drinking from said pot, and then a teaspoon for the teapot. So if you have 3 people, you will need 3 teaspoons of loose leaf tea, and then a teaspoon for the pot, equaling to 4 teaspoons.
Well, that's it for the tea review. I'm hoping to start doing this every week to kind of give you all options. Of course, the teas are down below. Some of them are going to be local. to where I'm at. Other ones will be just conventions where I picked up tea. So thank you very much for visiting. Thank you for visiting my group. Thank you for joining my group. I'm still thrilled that we're past 1,000 members. And I hope you have a fraptious day. Toodles.